thing I would like to say again, I am Rasul McGee, Dmv Sport Show, and guess what? We are about to get into a whole listing of things. So I have 540-354-3314. State your name for the record. Hello? Are you on mute? Can I turn it down? Let's see. Yes, that's what it is.
It's Coach.
Yes, Coach. All right. The volume was down. That's why I'm sorry. I didn't know it was down, but I'm glad. How you doing, Coach? All right. So we're going to go through a list of things, a list of topics, and we're going to see if we can go on. If you want to call in, the call-in number is 512-543-4662. Make sure you state your name for the record and who you represent. Don't be shy. Call in, and we'll get to you ASAP. So without further ado, you know how we do on a weekend. Let's go ahead and start the show. So the Washington Commanders took on the Buffalo Bills and lost dramatically with no effort whatsoever, 37-3. Wasn't until the last minute of the fourth quarter where they scored a field goal. Now they take on a much bigger opponent who just beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the score 25-11. And that is not other than the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles are coming off a really strong performance last year, but the Commanders came in and took that win away from them. They were undefeated, and they came back in and crushed them at home. Now, they return back to Philly, and Philly is looking to embarrass us because of what happened last year. But I think if we are on our A game as we should with the best defense from last year with number 3 and improve wide receiver core, running back core, tight end core, and not only that, we have a little makeshift offensive line. We should be good, but it doesn't turn out to be that way. 2-1. We started off preseason with 2-1. Now we're in trouble because we don't know what the offense is going to do, and we certainly don't know what the defense is going to do. And I'm pretty sure the Philadelphia Eagles are scheming to do exactly what the Bills, Arizona, and Denver have done. But the two games, you could say the two games to have no meaning whatsoever because we came back. Buffalo Bills was horrible. So I'm going to ask the coach, please give me some insight on what this means about the Eagle game coming up.
I'd say they better be on their A game.
So, right.
The A game.
Yeah. I mean, because right now, I can go and look at the stats of the Eagles, and it should pose up some really, really horrible stats. Let me enlighten some of this. All right, so the game on tomorrow is at 1:00 in Eagles. It's going to be on Channel 5, and here is the stats. Let me see if I can pull up the stats here. Of course, the Eagles are favored by 9 points, especially at home.
Don't you think the coach will have them studying airplay?
Well, see, that's the thing about what Eric Bieniemy said in this presser. He said, and I quote, "We're going to have them prepared, but the problem is they're not going to worry about the score. So you don't worry about the score. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt more than anything because you have to win a game, right? You have to win this game because it's a division game. And this is our very first division game where the Eagles know that's their first division game, right? So let's do this. I'm going to pull up. This is a great stat to have that the Eagles have. Here's the offensive personnel. They have a success rate on a certain type of personnel, right? So they're ranked 9. They rank 9 in success rate of 46. Okay, so they're in a no huddle. They're ranked 7 with 58% of success rate. Shotgun, they have usage of a 94 times. So when they're in, that's 94% they use throughout the whole entire game. They have a 48% success rate of winning. When they're in motion, they're 21%, which a 49% success rate with us rank 5. Play action, they rank 13. So they're ranked 13 in play action, but they have a 39% of success rate with 28, with rank 28. RPO, run action pass, they have 13% with a success rate of 59%, but rank 4. So what does this mean? This is perfect. I love how they did this. Well, they're saying to you in their basic offense, they use 94% shotgun, which allows them to run a play action off along with the no huddle, with the motion and a play action and a run option pass. So their primary base offense is shotgun, which means that Jalen Hurts can actually look at the field and see what the defense is in and then throw. Here is a brilliant way of looking at this, right? So I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, so it's most awesome. If we stop them on third down in play action, they're not that good. So we have another caller who just came in, who is a co-host of the Enhanced Sport Show, none other than co-host Louis Tenor. Welcome, Lou.
Thank you, Rasal.
You're welcome, man.
Hey, Lou.
Good evening.
So, Lou, we were just
Good evening.
We were just looking at some of the stats of the Eagles and Commanders game. Now, in this and let me commend you on picking the Bills to beat us, and you did win that one. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to the Eagles. And in the Eagles stats here about what they do, they are 94% in shotgun, right?
Yes.
And they're ranked 9th. But in usage, they're ranked 3rd. So they use the shotgun in 94% of their offense. Now, passing offense, they're a short drop back type of team, which a 44% success rate, but ranked 19th. But their designs roll out, so they bootleg more than anything. But they only use bootleg maybe 2%, but it has a 50% success rate. Now, I'm looking at this, I'm like, whoa, you can drop back and roll out, but you only use that only 2% of the time in your offense, but you're 94% in shotgun. Masterful, but impressive. But here's where the numbers are inflated. Run offense. Their run offense is a gap run. Gap run, 19%, 35% success rate. Zone run, and they do a lot of it. Zone run is like their primary thing since, well, just like shotgun is. But their percentage of usage is 79%. And they're more effective, 59%, that's ranked first in the NFL. So, stack box run, which means that if you have 7 in the box, they have a design run to run outside the tackles, left and right. So that's about 38%. 38% of that is ranked 9th in usage, but their 48% success rate is ranked 4th in the NFL. So their light box run, when there's no stacks in the box, is 37%, and it's ranked 9th in usage, but 56% is ranked number 1. So here's what this actually means. This means that their primary offense is based off shotgun and is based off in zone run and light box. So we have another caller, 571-606-6234. State your name for the record. All right. So that is a lot to have in, right? So if you look at this in this way, their primary scheme of things is to run the football or go into shotgun, so they know what kind of defense win. And this is what I was saying before on how Jack Del Rio has to have a better scheme going in.
He needs to adjust when he needs to.
And that's the problem. He doesn't adjust. And I had a problem with this when we hired him. And I'm saying to myself, all right, go ahead, Lou. And I was like suggesting what happens if we, if we have a zero blitz, right? And we catch them off guard. If we catch them off guard, then we good. But if they know what's coming, then guess what? We get burned for a touchdown. And that's on Jack Del Rio. And see, that's what I'm talking about. He's gambling way too much, just like Ron Rivera does, right?
You think Ron?
Yeah. No, he gambles just like Ron. Ron gambles when they go to right. So when we
but he's leaving the offense with Dmv.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and he's calling it.
Right, just like when he called, we weren't supposed to kick a field goal, and he called for 2. That's gambling, right? You can't.
Yeah, it should have been.
Right, we should have had that first 3. We should have had first 3 when they scored 7. Then we had a better shot of getting 10, right?
Yeah.
Or we could have had 6. So the you don't gamble when you see somebody that's a little bit more stacked in front, or their defense is more schematic against your run offense. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just have you sit there and gamble the play away when you know this defense is going to be stingy. And that's what I started to see in the second quarter. And when you don't see momentum, when you don't see effort, and you're just there looking at the sky, or you're just looking at the team going, wow, they're pretty good. Why can't we do that? And then they score again, then that's when you have a problem. It's like watching Michael Jordan shoot a 3 against your team, and you're like, I am oohing because he's like the greatest player ever lived. Right? You just can't do that. Welcome back, Lou. Go ahead, man.
What I don't understand with Dmv, and he was with the Chiefs.
I don't know.
Exactly.
571-606. Can you please retain the Frank Sinatra tribute down? Thank you. So, what was I? Go ahead, Marilyn.
Okay. Being with the Chiefs all those years, it's.
Hold on, 517. Go ahead.
I'm saying, because he was with the Chiefs all those years, he knows there are plays that we could use and come out better. In fact, I've seen, like I told you, I've seen Sam actually throw like Mahomes, and he's thrown bullets too. And I'm like, what happened?
So
he wasn't doing that.
Last week. So here is what what you're saying. You're saying he has all the mechanics of a Patrick Mahomes, which is true. He does have the Patrick Mahomes style of arm. We're not disputing that. It's the part of him understanding and throwing picks and not rolling out and not getting the ball out of his hand. Those mechanics are his. And he has to understand that you can't pat the ball when you drop 3 steps back and just wait for the player to get open. This is not college. Right. You got to get that ball out of your hand, because guess what? These defenders are seconds faster than you patting the ball. And that's the problem. And we saw that against the Bills. Now,
and you saw him. Okay, you did. I know you saw him when he did run. How many yards?
He threw for at least what 50 when he was. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right.
Who's doing that?
That's 517-606-6238.
Did they identify themselves?
No. This is actually the same one that we haven't been on before. No, I'm not doing that. I'm so sorry. No, we're not doing that either.
Would you mind grow up or get off? Now. You heard me.
I knew this was a little problem here.
Alert.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. You know.
It to be where it's happening every weekend.
You know what? I don't know what's going on. I apologize for this moment.
No, you don't apologize. It's not your fault.
Yeah. But if you go continue, Marilyn. I think you were talking about.
What do you know about football?
Okay. Go ahead, Marilyn. I'm listening.
Well, yeah, I was talking about Sam, and I'd seen him before.
Mm-hmm.
And last week it was just they got unglued. You know, they were trying to avoid.
But if you look at the plays, and then I'm gonna go to Lou because I think Lou might have an. Go ahead. Go. I'm sorry. You want to say something else, Marilyn?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, my fault. But what I was saying, was, if you look at the 5 plays right off the bat, during the game, that we remain stagnant because we didn't have no generation.
Right.
You know. So if you look at it like that, okay. So if you look at the standards of running at the A gap, B gap, and C gap, and if you look at it, we didn't even run up the middle because of the fact they plugged the A and B gap because they knew where we're going to run. So they ran a Carolina Panther scheme, where they're rotating the safety and the corner to the left side to double. Well, that was unfortunate. I'm sorry. I apologize to the viewers out there listening.
Block them.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Oh.
But to I'm gonna go with Lou. Lou, what did you see on that Sunday game against the Bills? What did you like and what you didn't like?
Unfortunately, I don't think I was able to see the game because we're not televised in my area. But the Bills. I mean, the Bills game. Well, of course, they're not televised here. But I like the Bills have a good offense. And that's gonna be tough to beat. And the defense not so bad either. So they've made a few mistakes along the way. But they're a good solid team, especially on defense. And that's what's going to prevail them. And that's how they were doing last week's game. Now, if you're thinking about last week's Miami's offensive game, now that was just pure offense and made mincemeat out of their opponents. 70 points in the game. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was by far the most surprising thing I've seen all this season.
No, it was 6.
Was it 6?
No, it was 6.
Oh, no, well, you're right. It was 6. But the thing about it is there was no consciousness. I think that team went unconscious and just went crazy on the Broncos. And the funny thing about this was it was Sean Payton's first debut as a head coach of the Broncos. And to have a wake up call that early in the morning.
Well, they were showing off.
They were going off. No, when you have a team that clicks in all cylinders, and no other team can catch you, and your offense is number one in the lead, and you just score 70 points, people are watching. And it's not just showing off. You know what showing off is? The showing. I'm just gonna say this. Have you Dallas showing off? And I'm sorry, Lou. This is the truth. Showing off in the first quarter, scoring 40 points on your opponent, and they haven't even scored. That's showing off. But then the next play, in the next team, you score 30, and then you lay a goose egg against a really unfortunate team, and they come out victorious. That's showing off. But this team in Minnesota, Miami, is a complete team. You have a running back that can scat back. You have a running back that can be a wide receiver. You have a running back that can actually run between the tackles. You have a wide receiver that can do in and around. You have a wide receiver that can break down defense. You have a quarterback that can throw 60 plus yards. And roll.
And you know what? They're going to be playing the Bills.
Yeah, they're going to be playing the Bills. And here's what I found out, too. We're going to be playing Miami as well in the second half of the season. Shoot. Yeah, that hurt me more than anything. And we're and the great thing about it is, I don't know if this is a plus or a minus, but we play the Dolphins at home. I think that's our way of being happy because this team is going to be 1,000% good on grass, and it's going to be 100%. We just got to have something to see. This is why I hope Kashmir Allen would have been, effective, because we could have used him as a Brian Mitchell type of player, but it turns out he wasn't even that good. But he's on the practice squad. Then we get, Jamison Crowder back. But Jamison Crowder looks like he lost a step, right? So we're not even sure what Jamison Crowder can do because we haven't really seen him explode into the offense. And then I question some of the players that we have on our team, like Dax Mullane. Dax Mullane is a special teamer, but we're playing him like he's a wide receiver with speed. And he's not that quick. This is what I'm saying. We're too conservative in some places, and we're explosive in some other places. But that's not a good mixture of a balance, to have on this team, right? Because if you look at it like this, let's take, for example, the Jets. Right, the Jets have a good defense, a really, really good defense. They have a okay offense with a horrible quarterback, right? But if you look at what Zach Wilson has, he has a really good arm, and he understands that he can roll out. But the problem is the play calling. Let's be real with it. The play calling for the Jets is not really that good because the only play calling is meant for is Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers can execute those plays that his former play caller in Green Bay can actually do.
He knows them by heart.
Thank you. And that's why.
And that's the reason he was coaching them.
Right.
They should have him regardless.
Right.
Because I know he could at least come in there. And he did have those. In fact, he did have the players sitting and watching how he snuck the ball when they thought he was going to.
Ball placement is actually one of the biggest things in this offense because you know that the defender is going to be looking at you and where that ball is coming out. But if you psych the defense into believing one thing, that wide out wide receiver is going to be open in cover 2. This is what I was talking about zone. Zone is just that. Zone is when you have a pocket open for the wide receiver to sit in, but your defense is looking directly at you to see where that ball is coming. If your eyes are looking towards the sideline, on the right side, then you know that ball is coming up on the left side. And that is why we're having a problem the same way, but we're in a more different type of thing. See, our offense is run on a power what is it called, a power run. So our power run is
okay.
Yeah. So if every first and second down you got to run up the middle. Now you switch it up when you think your defender is off off balance. But when you don't see the defender off balance, you just constantly pass. If there's not a gap open, you can't run in that gap. We've been trying that for years. And that's what I'm starting to see, the repetitious of plays. We don't take a play that is 100% effective. We take a play to see if we can generate any type of yardage. And that's
exactly.
and that's a problem, right? We can't throw 50 plus yards down the field because everybody's dropping back. They know what we're doing.
Well, if the quarterback can't pass, just like Heineke did, just like Mahomes, and just like a lot of quarterbacks run it.
Right.
Run it.
But we
some
see
of those yards, and you can slide to keep them getting hurt.
So
that's it. Get them yards.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But do you know where we run at? See, here's the thing that I have a problem with play calling, because if you look at the type of plays that we ran in first and second quarter, you would get upset. I'm going to tell you, first quarter, we ran in the middle, the B gap, and then the C gap. Remember, the defense, right? The defense slide to that that's that right side. What we try to do is pick up those blockers so that way he can have a opening on the left side. That's not how you do it. What you do is you run to the left side and keep running until you get out of bounds. And then what you do is you flip that same play to the other side and then hoping that the defense can open up the middle so we can run up the gut. That is how you're supposed to run the football. But you use the wrong person. Now, you don't use Brian Roberts in the middle. You use him on the sideline so he can get out of bounds, because he's not one of those bursts away speeds type of person. He gets 5 or 6 yards for a first down. But then you look at AG. AG is the home run hitter, but you don't put him in the running back. You put him in the slot. Once you put him in the slot, then you have one of the defenders dropping off, and you see the linebacker dropping off, and you see that's a cover 2. So now what you do is you put him in, you drop the ball out early. That's a first down. Now they in zone because they don't want to get beat again. So you know what? That's his pocket right there. See, those things I just mentioned are exactly why we lost that game, because we were ill prepared. It wasn't the offensive line. It wasn't the running back or the tight ends. It was the play calling. They called the wrong plays for this wrong team, and they knew they played against Dmv before, right? Because they knew this wasn't the Chiefs, right? So they knew that the type of players wasn't Kelsey or Mahomes. It was Sam Howell and a running back tandem that's pretty good, but they haven't really discovered their talent yet. That's why we lost, because they wasn't prepared. And that's what makes me even more mad, because you didn't see it on the field. You saw everybody being comfortable, like, okay, let's try to take it easy. Let's see if we could get momentum. They were already ready. They were dancing on the sidelines. That was like watching the Dallas Cowboys again beat us. I'm sorry, Lou. It's true.
Okay.
But but it's just I'm just stating the facts, man. Come on, man. You know I'm telling the truth. But just imagine. I'm sorry, my ESPN notification is going off. I apologize. But if you look at the third and let's go further back to the second quarter. The second quarter, we started having momentum, right? We reached the end zone. We reached the red zone. Now, in the red zone, this is when Ron Rivera took a gamble because we were down 7 points, right?
Ron Rivera.
Yeah. Here's what I'm saying.
We were going
No, that was Benjamin. He was over there calling those plays.
No, wait a minute. No.
He didn't even cover.
No, wait a minute. It was fourth goal. It was fourth and goal. We were on the 5. We had a chance to go for a touchdown, or we had a chance to throw for a first down or to kick a field goal. Ron Rivera puts up what? He says, go for 2. Now, when you go for 2, you have a chance to score another touchdown and go for 8 or 9 or 10. So that way, if they kick a field goal, we'll be 10 and there'll be 7. He decided to go for 2, and we got stopped, and it was turnover on down. So that's what I'm saying. You don't gamble in that sense. You can't gamble early.
That's right.
You want to wait until the second quarter towards the end when you're going to have a second half and the ball's coming back to you. That's the gamble. You don't want to gamble too early to show your hand. It's like playing 21, right? The house has 18. You know you either have a 20 or an ace. But then you ask for another card and then you bust. That's what Ron Rivera did. Now, as for NB Enemy, Maryland, you're absolutely right. He was making those calls and he played the wrong plays. I agree with you. Not just him, not just Eric. Jack Del Rio did the same thing too.
Yes, he did.
He did the same thing last year when he went 0 blitz and then had nickel all the way through. When you have nickel, you're not playing your best players. You're going. See, here's where I was talking about strategy. When you're in nickel, you take your tight end who's 7'1" or 6'1", 250 pounds, and you put it against a DB who is 5'10". You know that defender is not going to block you. That's what they do. When you see a person that's in nickel and what is it 3-4, and you know that your defender is a linebacker, you put a tight end on them. You put a tight end who's taller and weighs a lot, so that way you can get an extra 10, 15 yards down the field. What you do when you're in zone, there's a big hole in the middle where a tight end or a running back or a wide receiver can sit down to find. The idea is you put your hand up. If you can't get to the quarterback, you got to put your hand up. We don't do that no more. I don't understand why. It's effective. That's what we used to do to get deflections. We don't do that. We just watch it amaze. Oh, wow, he's pretty good. Oh, wow, first down. Okay. So that's my problem. That's my problem when I see an offense that just be amazed. And we got two big DTs in the middle. They're Alabama. And then we got 2 outside monsters in Chase and Montez Sweat. And we can't generate a sack on the most gifted offense. And the quarterback is 200 plus, and we can't sack him. I'm going to lay a forearm right in his gut if I can't get to him. I'm going to make sure that he's walking sideways by the end of the game. You just don't let nobody just sit there and pick apart your defense and then start dancing when he hears music playing in your stadium. And that's the problem I have with us, right? It's like what happened.
They changed things up when they had Heineke and when we beat the Eagles, and I'm like,
yes,
they did.
When we were in the Air Corral under Scott Turner, honestly, and this is how I felt. Scott Turner knew that when you're dealing with a defense that is that good, you got to play your best. Now with him, we got blown out. And in Buffalo. I think it was the same score, but it was like 31-3 or something like that. And no, it wasn't. It was 31-7 because I remember AG scored that touchdown in the corner. And the problem we had then, we only mustered 10 points against the defense, and they scored almost 60, 70 points against us total. So we had a really good quarterback in Heineke. Heineke had what? 15 fourth quarter comebacks? 15. And we let him.
I mean, he knew when to run. He knew
right.
when to pass.
Right.
He knew what play.
Right.
And when he was there, and when Sam did play that last game and we won,
mm-hmm.
he was telling Sam.
Yes.
He was advising him.
Right. And he was coaching him
right
up.
There. We should have kept him.
I really agree. I 1000% agree. We should have kept him, and we should have destroyed this team in the fourth quarter. It would have been close. It would have been so close. Heads up, we just have a score alert. Maryland versus Indiana Hoosiers. The Hoosiers are losing. I think it's 44-17, and Maryland is about to become 5-0 for the very first time in college history. And they would take.
That's a basketball match, if you ask me.
That is so awesome to have to see that.
They got a great team this year.
They are awesome.
they're on fire.
That's Tua Tagovailoa's brother, who's quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that Tua?
Yeah, that's Tua's brother.
Tua.
Yeah. Tua's brother is now a Maryland Terrapin, and he's killing it. He's actually more calmer.
He's really. Wow.
Yes, he is good. He is good. I like this guy. But the problem is, will he be there at 10 for us? I don't think he should be there because I don't think we should draft him because he throws too many INTs, and he will be. I could send him a Rex Grossman a little bit because he does sling the ball a lot and throws a lot of INTs. So I think going back to the game, because this is a very, 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 very important game, because if we go 2-2, there's no way we're going to take the East. We might be a wild card at best, but if we continue on going downhill, I don't see us, reviving this season. And it's not me being negative. It's me seeing the problematics of a 18 game season, because if you look at the teams that we have to battle, like a Miami, like a Eagles, like Buffalo Bills, we're going to have a struggle defense, and we're just going to be like exhausted because we can't catch a break. And
the defense was out there too much.
The defense wasn't even generating any type of sacks, I'm sorry, I apologize. The defense wasn't generating any type of sacks. When you have sacks, you have pressure sacks. You got to stop the quarterback for reaching a first down. That's what their defense did to us. That's how they got 6 to 7 sacks on us, right? So we didn't do anything like that. Keep in mind, what is it? I think I had an idea. Oh, hats off to the Baltimore Orioles, AL East champs, 100-60. My team is on pace to be a World Series champion. Maryland has won. Maryland has won 44-17, and
there you go.
And Baltimore is now on pace. This is the last stretch, right? So October 1st, playoff season for postseason for the baseball starts. So we have home field advantage, and we have first round bye. So This is great. So we get to see all the other teams take on each other and see who's going to emerge as victorious. I think it's going to be Baltimore and Tampa Bay again, but I'm pretty sure it's going to probably be between Tampa Bay and Mariners. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I think we're going to go to the World Series for the very first time. I really do.
Be.
Wow.
You should be. They're excited. They are.
Oh man, you just don't know. It's so nerve wracking because there's a lot of people I talk to who are Yankee fans. It's like, oh, you know what? They're gonna lose because they've been here before, 2014, and they lost to the Yankees.
The Orioles have said that.
Yeah.
They said that. So they've been saying, "When we can't do this." Well, we're the. Oh, I see that. Never mind.
No. What I'm saying is now, I think World Series is ours for the taking, because I believe we're that good, We got John Means back in the lineup, and if John Means can pitch for at least 6 3/4 of inning, and we can maintain that lead, we win, hands down. I kid you not. I know that's an update that Maryland has won. So let's go ahead and go to you guys' questions. I know that you have a lot, and I know Lou has a lot of questions. So we got 6 minutes. So what questions do you have for me? As of what any sport that you want to talk about? Let's go Maryland and then Lou.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
All right, with Virginia Tech, I've watched plays. I know they're good, and it's like Washington and them at the same time. I'm like, they're over. They're playing too hard. What would you have them change? Do you have any idea?
Between the two, our Commanders and Jets, or just the Commanders in general?
Well, I'd say with the Eagles, yeah, we would have to change. We got to change up.
Well, here's what I'm saying. What I would have changed was I wouldn't put AG in the running back slot because he's easily susceptible to get punched. I'll put him in open space because he's good in open space. You put him in screens, you put him in zone killing situations, you put him in the slot because nobody can touch his speed. So if you put him down the field, he's eager to get a first down and then some. Now you stretch the defense out. Now you put Brian Roberts in gap B and let him run straight up the gut because he could get you 6 or 7, 8 yards in the middle.
Oh Lord, yes.
So now what you're doing is you putting everybody on the heels going, oh, they actually put him to good use. We got to bring everybody up. Now they're going to put it in cover 2. Now what you do is you have Sam Howell bootleg and throw to the sidelines. Now everybody's shifted to the left. Now what you do is you throw it to your right, and now everybody's split. Now what you do is throw in the middle. Now it's a touchdown. All I'm saying is you got to use some sort of common sense, i.e. Jack Del Rio. When you're stupid enough to run the same thing, they're like, is he stupid? We just played. Okay, go throw it for a touchdown.
Hey, Lou. Yeah. Hey, we need to put Razul out there as coach. Maybe we do.
But I'm
serious. He knows what he's talking about. Like,
yeah.
But when you run the same play 60 times and you got film on it, people are just like, are you serious? We just watched you do. Okay, that's it. Go ahead and run the ball for 100. And they run the ball for 100. And he gonna sit there and I looked at his expressions on the sidelines every time they pan to him. He just looked like dumbfounded, like, I can't believe you did that. Well, no, you keep doing the same thing. And then when he sits down in front of the media, when sit down, this is the dumbest thing you can ever do. You sit down in front of the media and you sit down and you go like, yeah, we're gonna run the same play. I say what? You're gonna do what? You should be fired for saying something like that.
Yeah.
Like for example, like Lou had a very very reasonable explanation of why Dak shouldn't be quarterback. And Dak throws INTs too, but Dak do it at the last moment. Like against Arizona, he threw an unadvised interception when he wasn't supposed to throw it, and then sits on the sidelines thinking about, am I going to get fired for throwing that? Yes, pretty much. You do it to the defender who was actually. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have a tape of doing the same thing at the wrong moment, and then you get on this hot streak, and then you go back to cold, and then you go, what happened? And then you go back home, and then you have these hate messages in your inbox or in your locker from your teammate. You better not catch you outside at night. Wait a minute. I gotta walk at night. That's where my house is.
I'd say bring it, baby.
Right. So that's the problem I have when you sit there and you tell me that we're going to run the same play because it's more effective. We can't be scared. Dude, do you understand they're going to be waiting for that? Now what you're going to do is give them the ball?
You got to keep it a surprise.
Yeah.
I've always said that.
That's why I always loved Richie Pettibone. When Richie Pettibone was here, he would hit you in your mouth until you get up, and we're going to run the same play and hit you in the mouth again. But you don't run the same play in the secondary. I can understand if it was a front four, but in the secondary, you don't want to do that. It's just a thought. Well, we got 1 minute. I want to thank Lou from the Dmv Sport Show, Louis Tenor, co-host. Thank you for coming in and giving your input. I want to thank Coach. Yes, you are the coach, and coming here and giving your input. I want to thank you guys for coming in and sharing this experience with us. Stay tuned for next Saturday show, and we get to talk about the win or loss of the Commanders and Eagles game. Hopefully we can come out victorious with a field goal. So what are your scores against the Eagles? What's that? What you got, Coach?
3.
3? What do you think? What do you think, Lou?
I wasn't going to win by.
Okay, so you picking the Eagles, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I already knew it. I'm gone.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Y'all have a great weekend.
Cowboys come up,
All right. Yo, have a blessed day, and God bless. You're human first, everything second.
God bless.
So be what your definition. You're conqueror by definition. So be that, and have a great weekend. And I'm out. Peace. Thanks to you for being here. Couldn't do it without you. We'll be here next week. Have a great day. Peace.